Good morning. Good morning, audience. Welcome to Open Mic. Welcome to Juan Fair Open Mic podcast. And this is why we bring you, you know, the best reality talk, real conversations about life, growth, and things that affect our daily life. Um, Today we have a very interesting topic. And I think this topic is one topic that many of us face, and the problem is we just don't know how to navigate our way around it. So I feel very excited today for us to discuss this effort. Um,
Yeah,
and I'm one of your hosts. Juicy is my name, and I have my brother and friend here in studio with me, Afro, who is also hosting as well. So we want to say welcome and good morning to the Jew and Fair Open Map podcast. So today conversation we are gonna have is this amazing topic. Um, like I stated earlier, this is a topic that many of us, or this more likely a reality that many of us face. But we don't really know how to navigate our way around it, and I think it becomes harder when you don't really know how to get your way around something that you struggle with, and
yeah.
it increases that burden, and so many things. So for today's episode, and exciting because this is our 10th episode, Alfred. I didn't know that until I was
Hmm.
looking up um our YouTube channel, and I figured that this episode today is our 10th episode. So I don't know what you have to say, man. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, that's exciting, so see how far we have arrived, starting from beginning from where we started from and to this present moment. We've just been taking it at our own pace, which is great. Um, that means that we have been discussing something special. And just about waking up every day, putting our content out there. Um, if it costs us to keep doing the same thing for many years, someday or one day, it definitely will pay off. And it will eventually um leave from being a virtual event to what we started making in person, where and then to where it becomes our full-time job. Um,
Honestly, yeah,
yeah, at a certain point, it all takes time, but eventually we're gonna get there.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, that's our goal, and that's our mindset, and I think that's where we are aiming at. So, but it really doesn't feel like we are doing what we're doing. Like sometimes it's like we come here, spend a couple hours, and we are out chasing our daily activities, and all of a sudden, yeah, we are, and like we started from the very beginning, um, discussing some of our challenges and some of the challenges we have faced, even while doing this, and seeing ourselves to this level that we are right now is exciting, and all thanks to our audience too as well, who really have been following us and watching our videos online, subscribing to our favorite channels and Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. It's all because of you guys that we do this, and it's exciting because that really give us the feeling that we are sharing some messages across, you know, and some
Yeah.
people are benefiting from the things that we say, and and some of our experiences that we share and what have you. So, um, kudos to our audience who have been with us through this journey from the very beginning up to where we are right now. Making our 10 episodes today. So, it's great. I mean, it feels so great and very exciting. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So okay, so here we are today with another important and interesting topic, letting go of who or what is holding you back. Um, over the week I've been just reminiscing and thinking over this topic, and I feel like this topic and many other topics that we have talked about, this one particularly stand out because I think this one really resonate with many of us. Like for me, if I'm taking myself for an example, right, it kind of really imply to my personal life, and I think this is something that many of us, many, especially many young people and others, maybe older people as well, struggle with this. Um, you feel stuck into something, whether it's your job, school, family, relationship, and so on and so forth. And many a times, these things, you know, sometimes, most of the time, have some negative implications, like they hold you back negatively or they affect you negatively, and you see yourself just being stuck in the same thing over and over, not being able to find your way out. Even sometimes there is a way out, but due to so many things, you you feel like you can't do it or you're not able to quite get your way out of it. So, we're gonna be sharing some, practical tips. We're gonna be looking at some key points as well, discussing some key points on, how to let go of things that are holding you back. And the beauty of this conversation today is that, like we always say, we are not expert. Okay. Though we are expert within our own experiences, so a lot of these things are research based purposes. You can take advantage of them. Tools out there. You can research on these things more to learn more of these things. Um, but the bottom line here and the interesting thing is having the mindset to be able to talk about it is what interests us more, and that is why we bring you a lot of these conversations that people don't really find convenient. They don't find it easy to talk about, you know. And these are things people need to know about because there are many people that face some struggles and some, you know, issues out there that they need solution to. So, our first subtopic or key points we're gonna be looking at is why letting go is so hard. All right. Um, and just before we start delving into the various points that we have here listed, Alfred, do you want to like throw one or two light on maybe on this?
Yeah. You know, why letting go is so hard is, all of the reasons that people find into not to progress to the next level, or not to pursue something great for their personal life.
Right.
And that is some of it, as at the same time it became trapped they begin trapped into whatever they are into. And it can also lead to setback, and some major challenge for an individual. So that's what this is about.
Yeah, sure, sure. And many others that we're gonna be discussing today. And not to waste time, our first point here, that we have is the fear of the unknown. Um, you know, sometimes we stay in situation because we have a mindset of what's gonna happen after I get out of this.
Yeah.
Like you have that scary notation or that scary mindset that if I leave this thing, what would be the next thing to do? You know what I'm saying? And many people
Yeah.
find themselves stuck in so many things because they fear the unknown. Like they don't know what is out there or what would be the next thing for them if they do let go of these things. Let's say typical example. For many of us that probably had our first job, and obviously it's your first job, everything is good, you are getting paid, and work is going good. But then all of a sudden, maybe you like say you are faced with some challenges at work where you're not being treated fairly, or you are being marginalized because of your color or because of your race or because of something, what have you, okay? And you have this fear that, okay, if I leave this job, what else would I be doing? Like this job is the job I'm using to pay my rent, do whatever I'm supposed to do, take care of myself, and so on and so forth. And because of that mentality or that mindset, you create that scared mentality that, oh, I can't let go of this job no matter what is going on, like no matter how I'm being treated at this job, no matter what people are saying about me, or no matter what I'm going through. And I'm just using a job as a practical example, but there are so many things, like sometimes it happen in your family. People overlook you because you don't have certain thing, or because you're not there yet. You cannot, you know solicit some fund or give some helping hand to your family, or so many things that can make you to be stuck into some situation. And because you
Yeah.
have the fear of what will be the aftermath, like when I leave this, where am I going next? You know, in that state of mind, and it kind of hurts a lot of people. So, I mean, that's just something I feel like many people really need to look at too. Like, considering the fact that yes, indeed, you don't know what is out there, but if you would let that define your situation, or you being in that situation where you are being hurt, and and disrespected, and whatever you are facing, I think you need to really consider some things, and try to make up a mind, or consider something to do, like, about that situation. So yeah, that's just my take on that, Alfred. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, you just nailed it, man. The unknown can be scary, most of the time. So you can take the unknown to be anything.
Right.
Basically, we are saying that something that you going into, you're not aware the in and out of it. No one have told you or given you any specific information about the what you are going into. At least if you have a little bit of gist of it, then that will kind of give you a clue. Okay, well, I see I can
Exactly.
do this,
Right.
but no one did tell you what you're going into. You're just going into it, and it can be scary. It pretty
Yeah.
much scary. And it really hold people back. You know, so
Yeah.
this is a
And
great point that we just.
like, also, like, another thing too, like, if you are so familiar with the current state that you find yourself in, it sometimes create that stuckness too, because you are familiar with the current situation that you are in, or familiar with whatever environment or whatever you are doing, and then you don't know what's out there, that you have absolutely no clue of what is out there that you want to go into next. So that, familiarity is something that also kind of tie into this. That's what I really got from what you were saying, which is for sure 100%. um
Absolutely.
and the next point here is emotional attachment. um this one, let's hear from you, Alfred. I mean, you can roll this one out.
Yeah, I think it's anything, right? So it's like if you are like you stressed earlier on, if you are used to doing a specific thing in a specific way, when a
Right.
new thing is introduced to you, um, you begin like familiar, right? You always want to stay in the familiar. This is what I know all of my life. I don't think I can even leave this. A typical example is when I have a usual conversation with many people. It's always this is our culture, this is our tradition, this is what I have been introduced to since I was born. I'm now, I don't think I can let this go, because if I do let this go, I don't know what's in it for me. I don't know how's my family gonna perceive me, for stepping out of my comfort zone, or for doing things differently from what I'm used to, or what my parent taught me, and most of the time it can be it can turn into a chaotic, from press against again leave you stagnant.
Right.
So simply because you are worried about what your family, gonna how your family gonna perceive you, and most of the time you will find yourself living someone else's life in your family's life,
Mm.
and not really you wouldn't even be able to discover your own purpose, into even before you started even saying, oh shish, I got to start living my own life now.
Right.
You already are
It's
in your
already, you're
40s, and
already
then
late.
right, and then I mean, that emotional, it's it's just an analogy to just to prove the point that emotional attachment, you can be anything like a relationship. um you are familiar with this person, how can you break that? How do you
Correct.
just break up with that person? um
Mm,
and then that also can turn into, depending on how positive or negative that relationship is, it can turn into trauma. It leads to a lot of, to everlasting wounds. So yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like you say, I 100% agree with you. Having that emotional attachment to something it's kind of two ways, some negative and positive. And I think this aspect we are discussing more like the negative part of it, where you feel that, okay, you cannot let go of this person because you are emotionally attached to them. You have created a bond and you can't just let them go. And you, let's say, like, we have the common saying, oh, I used to this person, you know
Yeah,
I
yeah,
used to being with this person, or I used to be in this situation, or I used to do this, I used to doing that. That used to mindset can make you to be stuck in it for long, even if it's not good for you, or it was never good for you. But because you have created that emotional bond with that thing or that person, you that wouldn't let go of that person, or that, whatever thing is going to be like. So that absolutely is something that can really get a lot of people stuck. And I think it really happens to a lot of young people, where you like we say familiar, right? You're familiar with that person or that situation or whatever it is. And through that familiarity, you create that emotional bond with that person. And because of that, you feel stuck, you know. Um and sometimes even in that situation, it create that grieving, that grievances. Like, you're afraid that to let go of that person, like, because even if you do let go of that person, it create a moment where you kind of go through a long period of grief and pain, and so many other things, because you just don't want to let go of that person, or you just didn't want to let go of that person, and what have you. So absolutely, these are things that really get people stuck, and these things hold people back many times, like 90% of the time. These and many more get people held back. um the next point we have here is guilt and obligation. This one, obviously, many of us stay in the situation of guilt, you know, like, what if I leave the person? How would the person feel? Or how would I feel? You know, like, you're not obligated to someone. Like, many of times it happens to many friendship, right? Like, you feel like, oh, this is my childhood friend. The person and I, we grew up together. The person know everything about me. But if that person is now a supportive friend, are you gonna keep holding on to that person because you grew up with them and the person know you're in and out and everything? Like, no, let it go. I mean, if that person is a friend or was a friend that wasn't supporting you or isn't supporting you in anything, let's say you bring your plans, you bring your ideas, and so many other things to that person, and they always turn you down. They always look down upon it, like, they tell you you can't do it. They're not supportive in any way. But because you feel obligated to that particular relationship, or you feel obligated to that person, you don't want to let go of that person. And you feel stuck in that relationship or that situation, and it sometimes it goes on for long. And these things drain a lot of people down, especially we young people. It drain us down because we have that fear of letting go. We don't want to let go, and we have that guilt that if I leave this person or if I leave this thing, I want to feel bad about me doing it, or the person's gonna feel bad about me, or this other thing's gonna feel bad, or the society is gonna look at me different, or the community is gonna look at me different, and what have you. And sometimes it really doesn't make sense. You gotta firstly prioritize your mental health, your mental state, your own personal life, your own professional life, and work towards you being a better person yourself. In order with you just wanting to be in a particular situation or that particular thing over and over, year in and year out, whereas it's not yielding any fruit, it's not adding any value to you. You are not growing, you are not improving, and nothing is just changing in your life or in your surroundings. It's just all the same. Sometimes make the step, let it go. Like, don't feel guilty that because if you let it happen, something gonna happen. Or, yeah, it will happen regardless, even if you be in it or not. You know what I'm saying? So if it's
Yeah.
supposed to happen, it will happen. So let's hear from you, Alfred, on that.
Yeah, again, guilt and obligation is natural for human being to get used to each other for sure,
Definitely.
and or
Yep.
something, like whatever they are doing. Um, and again, this topic is not like a easy. Some people can say it's easier to said than done. But the bottom line is, if you don't let it go, you what is it called, you are stopping your own growth and progress. So the guilt, I think, much as guilt and obligation, you feel obligated to this person, which of course can lead to guilt. Um and in other words, like you always thinking about the aftermath, what's going to
Right.
happen after I do this, and but the question for you is, do you want to do, if you even if you say, okay, I've invested this amount of years into what into this person, so I cannot let go. But the question
Right.
for you is, do you want to do another move same years of this, you
Right.
know
That's right.
yeah, so I think everyone will also resonate with this point, because there is constant thought in our mind going on. There's a lot of battle,
Mm,
that I don't want to let my family down. My family is used to
right.
this person, or my family is used to me doing this. Um, and constantly living our family's life is common in our African setting. We want to please everyone.
Mm,
People being a people pleaser
right.
is also tied into guilt and obligation. Because you feel like you are obligated to your family, which is true by default because you didn't choose them, right?
Right.
Which is true, but again, it's your life. It's called You are called to live your life. So, are you really concerned? And I think it's up the ladder from being a priority, setting your life as a priority, um,
Yeah.
putting yourself first. It's not like to sound selfish, but it's the reality. You gotta put yourself first. Self love is important. You can beat that, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly, it's a hard truth, to be honest. Like, it is a hard truth, some people might look at it negatively, like, oh, okay, that's being selfish, like you said. I mean, it's not being selfish. It's just the truth. Like, hey, you are important regardless. I mean, you are as important as anybody else in this life. So, um, if you see yourself in something that really isn't working, I mean, you don't have to make yourself to feel stuck into that thing. Like many of us do. Like it happens even in many relationships, especially like I know it happens to every race, every individuals, whatever you're from. But from the African side, like growing up in our African settings and environments and communities, we see these things happen real life, real time. No doubt. Like many people find themselves stuck into so many things and they feel that they can get ourselves out of it. Like they have that fear. Like what would people think about them, or what would that the person that maybe they are with think about them, or how would the community feel? How would society see them? Like if
Yeah,
you're gonna consider that and continue living in that particular thing that is not helping you, it's not improving you, you are not growing into it, like nothing changing year in and year out, like I think like it's not gonna be healthy for your mental state. To be honest, it's not gonna be healthy for your mental state. So, um, again, we want to say welcome to the show. Welcome to our audience for following us this morning. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Hit that like and follow and share button, and let's get this show going viral everywhere. Invite someone to watch this podcast with you this morning. And also we want to hear from you too as well. You guys might have some points and some tips to share, and trust me, we will be glad. Nothing much more exciting than reading out your comments this morning. So let's get your comments coming in. Let's hear from you too as well. And for the last point on this subtopic we are discussing is the illusion of control. The illusion
Yeah,
of control. Yeah. You want to kick it off, Afra?
yeah, for sure. Um, I think that is a very important set of this is important topic because control from anywhere, right? We can define it as even in a relationship, you want to be in control. Either you want to be in control. I think most of the fight or in a relationship setting is really based on who power struggle.
Yep.
People want to feel people want to feel validated. They want to feel heard. They want to feel that
Mm,
they have won an argument, um, and they want to feel especially most men. I'm not going to. I say it in a very careful way, yeah, wherein we want to feel that hey, you know, I'm the king, or I'm the
mm,
only person, or I'm the so as a result they refuse to get the other person perspective,
right.
which can be a dangerous path to take. So yeah, so even in the family dynamic, people want to feel they control your life. They want to feel that whatever perspective, whatever the advices they're giving you, that you should take it into serious consideration. But it's like, okay, I heard you. Um, Again, it's my life, so I will do for whatever is in it for me.
Right.
So we stuck in our in this illusion here that um you know I it is, even though it can be selfish, because like everyone's want to feel validated, everyone want to feel that whatever point they're whatever thing they are doing,
Yeah.
they it's in their control, so you can take it to be anything from family, from relationship. It applies to every stages of life, every part of life. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. You literally say everything. The mindset of us, the sense of control is more like a major factor that play into this. Um, I think one thing for me as a person I learned while growing up is that you cannot change anyone, no matter what. A person decide to change if they want to be, you know. And many of us find ourselves in this illusion that I will once I keep trying harder and keep doing everything I can do to convince this person, the person gonna change, bro. Sis, nah, it's not gonna happen. you know, if the person won't change, the person will make it like, oh my. Sometimes you can do everything you want to do, um, in your own weak way, convincingly. If that person don't want to change, that person will not change. Or if that situation or whatever you find yourself in supposed to change, it won't change. It left for you yourself to make up your mind. You know, um, and like I first said, the issue of power struggle is one thing that's facing many homes too. Like everybody want to have that sense of control. Women want to lead, the man want to lead, and we just let go of principles. You know what I'm saying? We have let go of principles, and everybody want to feel heard. Everybody want to feel like they have that, that um that control. They have that power to make some decisions or to cause some changes. So it is a very inconvenient thing to do, and um this regardless, man, like you said, you cannot change someone, you cannot control the situation at times, not because you think that you are doing everything in your power to change that particular situation is going to make a change. It won't make a change. You yourself have to make the change. The change have to come from you yourself as a person. you know. So many a time people feel stuck. People find themselves into some situation or into certain environment, having a mindset that they gonna, control things or make some changes in that environment. I mean, sometimes it doesn't happen that way. You yourself have to make the change on yourself first, before it affects your settings. And like we said, these are many modes, emotional attachment, guilt, fear of the unknown. These are things that let people to be stuck into situation, you know. So letting go of who or what is holding you back is the topic we are discussing this morning. And if you are following us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, we want to say welcome to the show. Welcome to today's episode and today's podcast. So let's hear from you. This, like we said, it is a very interesting conversation. It is a very interesting topic, and we believe that many people find themselves in these things, and many times we are stuck into so many things, or we are held back by so many things that we don't want to let go of. And listen, it's not even the mindset to let something go is not an easy thing in a very sense, you know, it's not just as easy as we saying it. It's not. Like we said,
Yeah.
many of us face the same situation. There are so many things that so many of us find ourselves into, even till now, that it sometimes it even addiction. Sometimes addiction, like you find yourself stuck into something that you keep doing repeatedly that you don't really love to do, but you just find yourself doing it. But it's hard for you
Yeah.
to just let it go. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. Sometimes it takes so many things, so many processes, so many things involved for you to really work that thing out. So like we say, it's not as easy as we say it. It's a process, and we're gonna share some tips along the conversation as we go. But we have to identify some of these ills because before something works, you have to know what what the root cause of it. Many of us in security we call it the root cause analysis. You have to understand the root cause, like why led to this thing to happen and what is causing it to happen. You know what I'm saying? And then with that, you can understand how to navigate your way around it. So, um, our first topic we discussed, subtopic we discussed on a letting go of who or what is holding you back is why letting go is so hard. And like we said, one, it has to do with the fear of the unknown, emotional attachment, guilt and obligation, and then the illusion of control. So our next discussion will be signs that something or someone is holding you back. So even though we understand that letting go of something is hard, but what are some of the signs that we can see, or signs and symptoms that we can see or feel to know that this thing or this person is holding us back? So let's hear from you, Alfred, before we start maybe going into the discussion.
Yeah, I think it's important, what's it called, point of signs that something or someone is holding you back is are those recognizable things that often, especially, let's say for example, pattern of behaviors and all that kind of stuff. But the point is, what are some things that if you instantly, um because the mind is very capable to recognize pattern of behaviors.
Yeah,
So if something is happening, how can you determine, how can you tell, how can you instantly identify that
right.
this is the same thing I'm into? And how can you do away from that? What are those recognizable signs that can let you know instantly that you are about to repeat something in your past? Is what we this means.
Yeah, right. And like you see, the first point on that is you feel drained instead of energized. Um
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to really realize what is holding you back many a times, right? But there are some signs and some symptoms that you can know or that you can see and identify that, oh yes, indeed, this thing is really holding me back. Or this is the cause, you know. And I think one of the points that we have here is you feel drained instead of energized. And this many times, like we shared earlier, like relationship, friendship, and all of these things. These, especially these things happen in it. Um, you find yourself in a friend zone or a friendship with someone, and instead of that friendship or that relationship elevating you, changing your dynamics of life or your perspective of life, how you see things and understand things, or how you go about doing things, you see yourself not progressing, not going up, not, like everything about you is just stagnated. You are stuck. You are being drained. You don't feel energetic within yourself. You don't feel motivated to do things. You don't feel pushed. You don't feel energized. Like, you just see yourself stuck. And people tend to this thing like, maybe it's life. I don't think it's just life. To be honest, I don't think it's just life. It's just a how reality that you are seeing or experiencing, that you fail to realize that, okay, probably this thing that I'm doing or this situation that I find myself in is the cause of this. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's hear from you too, Alfred. What you have to say?
Yeah. Like you mentioned, energy attracts. Energy is very important. It's
Yeah.
important to pay attention to any when someone is giving you, like we always say, the vibe, right?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
it's like even friends or relationship or family's perspective. Well, like whenever you are somewhere, you want to feel that you belong. Um, so it's what we're saying here. So even in a relationship setting, in a perfect world, we want our partner to support us, regardless if they believe in it or not.
Right.
Now, if they are giving an opposite point of view, which we sometimes you consider it to be negative, of course you're going to withdraw. Um,
Right.
you're going to feel mentally stressed, and as at the point at the end of the day, you will say, you will either, never, if it was like a family meeting, you pretty much will not show up to that meeting anymore.
Exactly.
Or
Right.
if it's an argument in a relationship, you would be like, I need space and all of that kind of stuff. um but yeah, this is an important sign to recognize that someone or something is holding you back. um because like whenever you tell you, even if it's a friend setting, you tell your best friend something exciting about your life, and then you can still, you don't feel that genuine
Yeah.
appreciation in whatever they are
Mm,
giving or compliments.
right.
Is a very important recognizable sign. And you're gonna feel drained because why, you constantly telling this person thing, you believe in this person, that this
Mm,
person got your back. But instead of them giving you that support, and they are telling you so
mm,
quote unquote a hard truth, which
r-
there are moments for everything, there are places and time for everything. Even if you fucked up your own personal life, for the lack of a better word, and if you mess up your own life, and you tell your friends, say, hey man, I'm in this kind of deep trouble, and instead of the person encouraging you, like that's why you need at that moment, they say,
right.
man, I don't know what you get yourself into, man. You just messed up. And then you tell your family, and then they say, why did you do that?
Right.
Like,
Everybody
no.
just coming at you.
Yeah, it's like, no, you'd be like, like, I need your support. I need you to encourage me. Now, I'm never going to take anything again. So,
Yeah.
yeah, let's hear from your side.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just nail it. And like I said earlier, you know, these things, like you said, all of these things, it kind of drain you. Like, if you don't feel welcome, you don't feel accepted, you don't feel your thought going across, or your idea going across, or probably you are experiencing something, you don't even feel your pain going across. Like, and nobody's kind of having that sense of empathy, or feelings for what you're saying. So in this, and like that, it kind of drain you down, it makes you not to feel heard. So, and in such a situation, definitely you should know that, hey, these things are not good for you. It's just not going to work. You know what I mean? If it is a friendship, or maybe friends that you have, and and you have this kind of feeling, that your message cannot get across, you are not feeling supported by your friends, and instead of you feeling elevated and loved and pushed towards certain things, towards certain goal, towards certain ideology or what have you, definitely know that, yeah, it's not good for you. Take a step back, reassess the situation, man. Because anything you do from there, you'll be held accountable. You'll
Yeah,
feel the pain yourself. So yeah,
100%.
yeah, yeah. So, and the next point, it just kind of tie into the next point here, which we have. You are stuck in the past. You know,
Yeah,
um, I mean, many of us like, and this won't go a long way, even to the extent, even some people they get, you know, up to old age, and they still find themselves stuck into so many things. You know, things that they are afraid of either letting go, or they feel like they just can't let it go regardless, or maybe they have that fear of resentment or the fear of judgment, like, how people gonna perceive them, how the society gonna see them, or how they're gonna see themselves. Because firstly you have to do with your own mindset. Many of us defeat ourselves in our mind before the outside world even defeat us, and that's true.
100%.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
we we have, like, we defeat ourselves in the first place. Like, you like, "Ah, I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it." I mean, if you have already registered that in your mindset or in your mind, then no matter, there's something we call confirmation bias, right? It's like you believe it regardless of whatever anybody else say. Your
yeah,
belief is your belief. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And that's how many of us are. Like, once we have it in our mind that, you know what, this thing I'm in it for life. I'm stuck. I can't get out of it. That's it. No, even Jesus Christ said, come to you and tell you that, hey man, you can get out. You're like, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm stuck in this thing. I can't get out of this thing. Like, and also, like we shared earlier, you might be having a fear of the unknown, which maybe might be an indication, but a lot of time it just have to do with, your mind. You
yeah,
know, yeah. But many people
definitely.
are stuck in the past because of that mainly. I mean, so many things
Hmm.
like we said, but these are key things that get people to get stuck into certain situation, and they don't see themselves getting out of it anytime, because they are stuck in the past. Like, maybe they enjoy that old conversation, or they enjoy, um they love enjoying that company with whosoever they are with, that maybe that's holding them back, or they just love the current state of situation they are in, or whatever they are doing at that moment. They just love it. They don't have that, we can say, that balls, to to think of something better to do or to get out of it. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, many more. I mean, let's hear from you, Alfred.
and yeah, just to say, to be clear on this one, they guys who at the end of this will be giving some tips, like we always do,
Yeah.
but we are just giving you some recognizable things that you can pick up from. So once something is happening, when that specific thing or incident is going on, you can recognize it as well.
Yeah.
um you find yourself, in other words, arriving at the same result. It's
Mm.
and also, like, um for example, again, in a relationship setting, if you find yourself into a new relationship, you will, let's say, pitch your past on your new relationship.
Mm. Yep.
So now,
Yep.
now, now again, it doesn't mean, in the past, we should recognize that the past is a state that you attract, or you are in. So if you shift that old thing into the new one, you are still
Yeah,
in
still
the
in it.
past.
Yep.
So you're blaming everyone else, um,
Mm.
for the same part. Let's say you family dynamic again, you don't see yourself progressing, um, simply because you wouldn't take it out of your mind.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we found many of us like it's a common thing. We are human being. Of course, you, the memory is the one thing that you can never erase. Um, so they introduce a lot of things now in our society, like therapies, um, and to talk about to vent, to let it out, and to talk about some stressful situation you might have occurred, and in other words, past trauma, right?
yeah, yeah,
So um, getting stuck is a trap, right? In other words, getting stuck is really a trap. So yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think I 100% agree with what you said, and just something I just took from what you said. The issue of many people bringing their past into their present. I mean, again, we are not relationship expert, and we don't really want to go depth into relationship part. But many people, this is the problem they face, especially in homes and relationship as a whole, where you always have that competitive mindset of, okay, this maybe my ex used to do this, and you're not doing this, and many times like I mean, your S is a S. Pass. Now you are into a whole different relationship with someone, and I think this is like a whole new life of you. And sometimes family dynamics too, like we said, probably like many of us like come from the African setting. We have this thing that that's my family. That's how we are. Or this is what happens to people in our family. You know, like
yeah,
we always want to link certain situation to our past or to our lineage. Like maybe in your family nobody have ever traveled before, and probably you have this opportunity coming your way for you taking advantage of it. You like, oh, in my family nobody can travel, so you know I'm about to put myself into this thing before I lose my money or I lose my this or I lose my that. You have, that fear because you're stuck.
yeah,
Like you don't want to let go. You don't want to make a change. You don't want to make a move at all. Like you feel like, okay, this is who we are. You have already defined yourself in that situation that, okay, no matter what, this is who I am. This is where I'm from, and this is who I'm in for life. Like we can make the change.
yeah.
So, you know, make a change,
No,
man. Make
hundred
a move.
percent, absolutely. So I think it's
Yeah.
an important thing to recognize too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Next one is, you are only staying out of fear. Hmm.
Yeah,
Let's hear from you.
I think like in other words, you are staying in that condition because you don't want to. There's a fear going on. You don't want to either hurt someone. You don't want to offend someone. Um, and there's a whole noise going on in your mind. Um, you find yourself there's a battleground going on. It's
Yeah.
what is true. There is a constant battleground going on in your mind, your heart, your body, your soul. Um, but again, do you want to remain in this unhealthy state for the rest of your life? Because it all comes down to this is your life. So and I think this is really tied into relationships.
Yeah.
You can take this either a personal relationship, romantic relationship, or family relationship. You don't want to disappoint.
Mm.
You are staying, let's say, into this community simply because you don't want to offend someone, or you are afraid of how, uh, in other words, abandonment. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't want to feel isolated, that the rest of the family are going to isolate you, or they're going to abandon you because you have this perspective. You have different mindset from what they think that you should have.
Mm.
So
Makes sense.
you're going to be stuck with them, and you're going to constantly find yourself being drained. And as a result, hey, you're gonna it leads to regret. You're gonna be like, which I knew
Yeah.
earlier,
I wish I made that
but
move. Mm.
I wish I make that move. And
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're gonna miss up on opportunity. So staying in to something, um, it's you gotta always be aware. Uh, what is keeping you in that thing. So
Yeah,
yeah, let's hear from you, Jason.
that's true. I think one question many of us really need to ask ourselves, and I tend to ask myself this question many times. Um, if fear wasn't a factor for me to continuously holding on to this thing, or for me to hold on to this thing, would I still be in this situation, or would I still want to hold on to it? And if that answer
Wow.
is no, get out.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a
You
very great
know,
question.
because
Yeah, that's a good one.
that's the reality. If you consider fear to be a factor, definitely you're gonna be held into it, regardless.
Yeah.
No matter how you try, you're gonna be into it. But if fear is not a factor at all, and it's something that you really does not consider, or if it wasn't a factor for you to be into that thing, then definitely you
Yeah.
have to make a move. You have to let it go, because it
Absolutely.
happens, and that's why many people are stuck in a relationship too, because they have that fear, like you said. Many people are stuck into a certain career or into certain things because they are afraid to make a move. They probably have a fear of resentment, or fear of failure, or fear of judgment, or so many other things that whatever nomenclature is attached to this fear, many people are, you know. And if you eliminate that, does that give you a possibility or give you a chance of making a move? If yes, then do it. Follow your
Yeah.
heart. Many of us, we in know our heart, we in know our inner man. Sometimes our heart be telling us like, yo, do this, make this move. But on the other side, the flip side, you are like, okay, like, I don't know this thing. Like, I haven't done it before. Like, uh, what will happen if I do this? Or what if I do this and then and that's too another thing. The what if, you know, and this what if question is one thing that just get on me, bro. Like for some reason, like, what if this happened? What if it didn't happen? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
right, because we want to look at the other side of the what if, but not the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's that human. That's just who we are. That our perspective, many of us, our perspective of reasoning is just one sided. The way we reason, the way we analyze, the way we look at things is just one sided. What if you flip it on the other side too as well? Is that a
Yeah.
possibility that that thing gonna work out? If yes, then making a try. you know, Failure should not be an obligation. We are not discussing failure, but these are things that cause people to even fail in life, to feel stuck into something, and not just wanting to let go of certain things because they have that spirit of fear. And trust me, it is not easy, to be honest. Because I know we must say it like, smoothing it and make it look so easy, but guys, trust me, it is not easy. But sometimes it's worth it. It's worth a try.
Yeah.
It's worth it. You taking up that decision or making that decision to let it go.
Absolutely.
Especially that has to do with something that you are not on a total level benefiting from. It's not impacting you. It's draining you down. You are not progressing at all. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, trust me, it's time to let it go. It's definitely time to let it go. You know,
100%.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and, and
Yeah,
just
man.
lastly, before we go into our last points and last discussion here, on you keep making excuses.
Mm.
Right? Which also tie into the fear, because once you have that fear, you know, um, definitely you're gonna start making excuses. Like, you're gonna have a justifiable or claim that, okay, this is this is a reason. It's not funny, but it's serious, right? This is the reason why. Oh, maybe if I did this, this was gonna happen. Or probably you had that fear of not doing that thing, and then all of a sudden you did it, and then something happened. You're like, oh, I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen
Yeah.
anyway. I knew it wasn't gonna work. Sometimes it's just a test. to see how consistent you're gonna be, or how serious you are, or how resilient you are, and you're like, oh, I knew it. I knew this wasn't gonna work. Many of us, especially we young people and others as well, definitely make a lot of excuses for things that they just don't want to let go of. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, man. You just nailed the nail on the head. Just nailed it. So, excuses is very common into whatever you are doing. The excuses can be defined mostly like the reason for not doing something. You
right,
know, so um, like imagine, like woke up every day uh to do this podcast, and man, okay, it could be common to make this excuse like, hey man, I work last night shift, I'm not
right,
sleeping, and but at the end of the day, we still feel that reason, that push to and that urge to wake up from bed and to do this early morning thing. It's not fun. It's this is work. This is to research, to study.
right.
Um, you know, it's hard.
It
Um,
is. It is.
and but at the end of the day, excuses will prevent you from seeing the opportunity in whatever you are, whatever state you are in, whatever in this life. So yeah, so that also can prevent you from letting go, and um, you can get stuck and trapped into whatever you are into.
Yeah. I mean, I 100% love what you said. Excuses can definitely make us to not see the opportunity in a lot of things, and that's true. And that's just the downside of having fear, making excuses, and procrastinating, and all of these things. Because you don't see the opportunity in whatever new you want to do, or whatever changes you want to make. You don't see the big picture. You are only looking at the current state, the current situation, or maybe whatever you're into right now is working out for you, and you just don't see the need of making a move or letting go of that thing. you know and I mean, like you said, if many of us, we face this in at our jobs, and some of us don't want to go, in whatever whatever environment we find ourselves, whether at your job or maybe in a voluntary environment and things like that. Because you don't see the need, you don't see the opportunity in that thing. Like you don't see the importance of that thing to you. Like you don't see the value in it. You don't, first of all, many of us don't even have that. We don't set priorities and stuff. So these are things we need to start working on as young people, and this is mainly for mostly we young people. um and for older people too as well. Because if many of us start to shift our mindset of how we see things or how we perceive things, I think it can put us in a better position to be able to teach our younger generations that are coming, after us. And because this is just the same trend that we follow, like our, you know, current, um, elderly people we have, many of them, they didn't know these things, or they never heard about it, or they never knew it, or probably they were never taught it. And we came in the same situation too. We grew up not knowing these things, but now we have come to the reality where we have started to learn them, we have started to know them. I think it helped us a lot to discuss them, share them out there to many people as well, so they can understand these things too, and be able to you know um help the younger generation that's coming down the line. Because
Yeah,
you know I mean, our generation nowadays, with the advancement in technology and all of these infrastructures and everything that we have to our disposal, if we don't take advantage of these things and improve ourselves, the ones that are coming after us might likely fall in the same page. Like for many of us now who are more likely coming to the reality of restructuring ourselves, revamping our life and relearning some things that we learned the wrong way in the past. It is good that we kind of share these things out there to other people too as well. So yeah, for sure.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
yeah, so again, I mean, we would really love to hear from you guys, from our audience. We believe many of you are watching us on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube. Definitely we would love to hear from you. You can comment in the comment section, and we will be glad and excited to read out your comments. I mean, if you don't want your comment to be read, that's fine. But if you are enjoying the show and you are following us, and you love what we are doing, please continue to give us that like. Continue to share our platform and follow us. Like I said, we are on every platform. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and we are live on this platform here every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, bringing you the best discussion and best conversation, and real life conversation. I would say, things
Yeah,
that we were not taught, and these realities, you know, talks and stuff like that. So, lastly, we're gonna be um discussing how to let go and move forward. And we're going to be giving some practical tips. Again, these are research based stuff. And, some of our own personal experiences. And we want to encourage you to research more, get out there, ask some questions, network, you know, just expand your knowledge, expand in your knowledge, and do what is best for you. So for our first tip here we have is acknowledge the truth. Acknowledging the truth. So you want to roll it out after?
and yeah, I think acknowledging your truth means that you are not dismissing the fact. Um,
Yeah.
it's understanding and being aware, right? I know sometimes it's difficult to acknowledge the truth most of the time, um, simply because we don't want to deal with it,
Right.
right? We don't want to deal with it. So that means you are aware of the situation, but you just don't want to be bothered with the situation that is
You
on
don't want to
ground.
accept it.
Yeah. So and that also we will say, you got to acknowledge the truth. You got to accept it that for what it is. You got to deal with it, you know. Um if you are getting into a new relationship, you got to settle the old one, in order to uh move through, in order to progress. So you got to, in other words, accept it for whatever it is, whatever the condition is, whatever the situation is. If someone doesn't want to be bothered with you, that's the truth. Accept
Yeah.
it and you move on. So, and it is very difficult to do, simply because, one, we are tied to that person by bond,
Yeah.
um, and therefore now wanting to move on to the next stage of our life. So, and that can be detrimental sometimes. So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I do agree. It's just 100 being honest with yourself. It just have to do it honestly. Like recognizing it that, hey, this thing's not working. Like no matter how I
yeah,
try, it's not working. Like being honest, it's not working. I just have to let it go. And this is a hard thing to do. It is. Recognizing it from a standpoint that, hey, it happened. Just let it go, man. Like you can't
yeah,
change it. No matter what you do, like we said, you cannot change people. You cannot change anything. You cannot change, like all you can do is to change yourself.
yeah,
That's all you can do. Work on yourself and change yourself, but you cannot change no one else. It's only you. Many of us, we find ourselves in that illusion that, oh yeah, we can change this person. No, you cannot. You know, and you have to acknowledge that and be true to yourself that, hey, this is just it. Like yes, it is what it is. Like honestly, this is not working for me. I have to let it go,
yeah,
and it might be painful, and it's gonna be painful. Actually, we say might. It's gonna be painful. I'm doing a course right now, and they said that many people, every human being as a whole, have their way of dealing with grief. Some people, maybe it might be talking to someone. Some people is like, it might be them having a alone time, like they want to be by themselves, they don't want to be bothered with anybody. Some people
Yeah.
maybe need to talk to a counselor or therapist. So there's so many ways people deal with that grief, and whatever way works for you, take advantage of it. But for the fact of the matter, you just have to accept it that yes, it happened and it happened. It's just that you losing someone that you love, losing your loved one or losing that someone closer to you. No matter what you do, that person is gone. You know, yeah, I don't care what you do. Like, it happened, it happened. That person is gone. So you have to
Yeah.
accept it for what it is and move on, you know, and move on.
Absolutely.
And people might grieve. Some people, they say, I will grieve for 6, 7 months. You grieve for 15 years and can't bring that person back. No
Yeah.
matter how much you love that person, yes, I understand the emotional feelings and connection, but it happened, it happened. So, um, just the same thing, like with situation that we find ourselves in, like so many times, if it's not working, you have to acknowledge the fact that it's not working. And some of us see the truth. We see it like we see it and experience it real. Now, like sometimes people might tell us, but you as a person, you are seeing the reality for yourself, but you just don't want to accept it.
Yeah.
And you're not being honest with yourself. That's what it is. You are just not being honest with yourself. So, you have to be honest with yourself and accept it that, hey, this already happened and I have to let it go and let it go.
Yep.
Yeah. And that leads us into our next point or our next tip also, which is permit yourself to grieve. And I think I just talked about grief. So I will just let you kick it off from there, Alfred, and probably we might move on to the next.
Um, you know, so permit yourself to agree when we talk about it is allowing yourself to I think that's part of the growth process.
Yeah.
What we say, if it is dead, it's dead. And accept it for what it is. Stay in the moment really, and letting it out, right? If it causes you to let it out, if it causes you to cry about it, do it.
Yep.
Do it. In other words, do what you is necessary for you to move on. It's what we're
Yeah.
talking when we talk about permit yourself to grieve. Is what we're talking about. It's like, hey, you gotta fix this, get it done, move on. You
Yep.
know, because life is time. Whenever we talk about life, this is your life. We're talking about this is your time. This is your time. Only you. This is you versus you. Um, um, just accept it for what it is. Cry out. Do whatever you can. Hit the wall. Do whatever and move on. It's what we. It's what we say. It's harsh sometimes, but yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
man, it's a reality. Every one of us we face situations that will allow us to grieve. And
Yeah.
if you haven't faced it yet, it's coming. So it's a every one of us we got to at a certain point in time face grief.
Yeah.
Grief the past, grief the love of from someone that have passed on. Um, but if you allow yourself not if you don't grieve, if you don't stay in the moment, you're not gonna be able to embrace new opportunity.
Yeah, and I mean that's true, and like we said, we can expand on this more and more. But like we said, give yourself space to mourn, give yourself space to grieve. You know, don't rush it. Yeah, take your time, let it out. Don't keep it
Yeah.
within, let it out. And like I've said, many of like no matter who we all have experienced it, or one way or the other will have experienced that time that we will have this state of mind, or this state. Whether it's losing someone or losing that job, or and it hurts, especially when it comes to the job part, bro. Like, imagine spending 5, 10, 15 years at a job where you are so open to everything, you so comfortable doing your thing, and then Time for lay off. They see nobody else to lay off but you. Like you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, guys, y'all can be real, bro. Like, I've been in this
Yeah,
job. I sacrificed all of my life in this job, man. Like, why should I be the one, bro? And it hurts, and
yeah,
even losing loved ones, or losing someone so close to you, these are times that you have to let it out, grieve, man. Just do it. Give yourself some space to do it. And our next one here is focus on what you can control. Um, and like we said, many a times you just can't change the past, and you can't change someone. All you can change is yourself. You know,
yeah,
all you can work on is yourself. So you have to figure out what is within your reach that you can control. You know, if you cannot control that situation, you just cannot control it. You have to let it go. You know,
yeah,
you can choose either to move forward or to be stuck in it. It's a decision to make. But remember that all you can do as a person, as an individual, is focus on what you as a person can control, what is within your reach, what you can handle. Because trust me, you cannot change anyone. You cannot even change the past. The past is the past. It has happened. It has
yeah,
happened. You have to keep
absolutely.
moving forward. You have to keep pressing. And if you see yourself in a situation where you are stuck all the time and you cannot make a move, or someone is holding you down and that person don't want to let you go, um, whether it is a relationship or family or friends or whatever, you have to keep your mind focused on what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and keep pushing towards that, keep persevering towards that, and eventually you're gonna let whatever you have been holding you down, let it go, and move forward and progress. you know so um focus on what you can control, I would say, and keep pushing towards whatever you have within your reach that you are able to do, and keep doing your best in it. you know yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
let's hear from you, bro. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I think um, focusing on what you can control is recognizing um, the opportunity you have, or let's
Right.
say recognizing all of the what's it called, the support you have, and
Exactly.
um, what can you do about the situation, um, and taking chances most of the
Right.
time is really staying in the moment. Like um not stressing too much. It's normal to stress about situations, but always, if something happened, it has happened. You can't change it, like you just stressed on earlier on. That
Right.
you cannot, if it has happened, okay, move on, sir. So yes,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure, redirect your energy to whatever possibility you have, whatever is within your reach, or whatever is workable, and channel your energy towards that and make it work. And instead of working on things that is not making any progress, or it's not doing anything or making any change, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
um
I would say I have one point to make here. Like, okay, so most of the time we say we can, say, I don't have no say in this. Um, and I think that's, you do have, this is your life in most of the time, especially relationship. I'm stressing on relationship because it's a common thing for us. I think many people resonate with a lot of the things because it does apply heavily when it comes to relationship, wherein they think that they are emotionally bound, so they can do nothing about it.
yep.
You do have a say. You can leave. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Oh yeah.
you can leave. Regardless of what the circumstances is, regardless of what the situation is, regardless of how worst the outcome may be, you can leave and you will still be just fine.
Yeah,
You know,
you will be.
um,
You will be.
like most people, and I think, and I hear this common from single people saying that I don't want to be, especially us single people saying I don't want to be married because of the yeah, I don't want to because of the aftermath
Mm,
of divorce. So, but the question is, do you plan on getting one?
right.
Right? Do you plan on getting one? Of course, and and if you still, if that's the case, no matter what you are, if the relationship is not
Yeah.
working, um, and regardless of how worse the outcome may be, you do have a choice. The choice
Right.
is just, I think in a Christian community, most of the time we tend to blame God by saying, I'm a Christian, I go to church this amount of time, I go to Bible study this amount of time, but my life seems to be stagnant, my life is not progressing most of the time. But I think when God, there was an important statement that God made in the book of Genesis when he said, let us make men so that they can have dominion. In other words, he said he removed himself out of the
Yeah.
equation. So
Right.
he give us that choice. In other words, almost 90% of the things that will happen on earth is in our control. He literally said, I've given you the choice to make. I've given you the ability. I've given you the power. I've given you to, I've given you everything. So you are choosing to stay. So he wants you to be happy. He wants you to do whatever you can do so that you can be satisfied.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. 100. That's true. Our next tip here would be surround yourself with support. And I mean, this we always talk about in most of our podcasts and most of our talk shows we have. This is a truth, regardless if you accept it or not. We are not an island. You know,
Yeah.
no one is an island, and no matter how you see yourself, some people they might rely on their skills. They might think that, oh, I got a PhD, I got a master, I get four master, I got four PhD. Yeah, 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 yeah. You get all of that. But all of
Yeah.
those things, they not just come by your own hard work.
Yeah.
You have some support, whether it's emotionally, physically, psychologically, like however, you need that support. You need people around you that can push you. You need people around you that can give you that emotional support. You need people around you that can also give you that physical support. People that you can lean on. It could be a mentor. It can be a school teacher. It can be your friends. It can be your family. It can be your loved one. It can be whosoever you have within your reach. You as a person, you have to surround yourself with these people. And sometimes these people might see something that even you yourself might not see. You know, Probably you might be caught up in the moment. Like for many of us in the past that were caught up in certain situations, in certain things, and we felt like it was okay. But people
Yeah.
around us saw it from another angle, from another viewpoint of, hey, that thing you are into is not healthy. It's not gonna lead you to a good end. It's not healthy for you. It's not good for you. It's not leading you somewhere better. Make a change. Like this is for leave that thing alone. Let it go.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you listen and you do take up those advices, it works out for you. Sometimes many of us that feel that we know a lot, these advices, and we still get stuck into the same old thing. And sometimes it affects us even worse than the way it used to you know. So it's good
Yeah.
that you surround yourself with these people. And now, like I always say, man, with the advancement in technology, you can know people for come on. We got LinkedIn, we got Eventbrite, we got Facebook, Instagram, and all of these various platforms nowadays that people can connect you. It's not all about the romantic connection. It's not all about the all of these other things that go on this platform. But sometimes you can find a mentor from this platform, or sometimes you can
Yeah.
find a friend from this platform that can serve as a support system towards you, or to you. So take advantage of these things. You never know. We are mostly stuck in so many things because a lot of time we don't have that support. We don't
Yeah.
have people to tell us the truth. or even sometimes we have people around, oh, but these are the same people that are just like us. They are stuck in the same thing, you know. the
Yeah,
person
I
the
mean,
person not making move, the person not gonna like the move. Hell no. So
absolutely.
bro, we die together with Isa. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, definitely. If you are, you know, let's say, you don't have a job, you're not working, I'm not working. That's a bad conversation right there.
oh yeah.
So it's so so it's what where we if we both that like we can while it is true we can call it a lawyer friend, but it's not honest friend because you both
No.
are not giving each other the honest truth. If
Yeah.
because if you guys will have then one person will make the move for
Yep.
you both sakes.
Yeah.
But seriously, surrounding yourself with whatever support is very important, guys. You know, and it's very important to also recognize um and that I think we spoke about this in our other episode that finding mentor is not going to come to look for you. You
Nope.
definitely had to go to find it. Um,
Yep.
and you gotta we are now a lot of things, man. We are in our digital world, fast-paced world, that a lot of the things is so much accessible to us these days than
Oh
it
yeah.
was
Mm-hmm.
50 years ago. um Man, you got the internet. I mean, I would say me personally, I rely myself on the internet about 85% of the time.
Right.
So that as for support. So yeah, it's very important to see the amount of resource that is available to ourselves, um, regardless of whatever group, right? It's if you are a Christian, many people sometimes we say, we are stuck in this trap by saying like, hey, do not be equally yoked, which is which which can be
Yeah. It's
which
a
is a
different. It's
it's
different.
another conversation. It's another
Yeah.
conversation. It's a lie that I've been through for a long time. But
Yeah. That's yeah.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot that have been through for not a long time because the scripture itself say that the children of the world is smarter than the children of light. So therefore, Christ advised us to go and learn from the children of the world. So,
Right.
but there has been a lot that have been too many that we can debunk it all way or yeah. That, but the point is that looking for those resources that is available to us, regardless of whatever we are going through, you know. And the other day, I was fascinated to see what I was scrolling on social media, and I could see that some people were saying, as I could see this lady was saying, which is a divorce attorney. So it was like, why are you encouraging people to divorce? And she was saying that, do you know that you as a female, regardless if you or your spouse file for this divorce, that they are financially responsible to pay for it. That, in other
Wow.
words, encouraging it. So
Yeah.
it,
That's oh
I,
my god.
I was like,
That's crazy.
it's interesting to see there's so much support for the negative and the positive
Yeah.
until like if you even try to research, you will find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the internet have been now the library for for research. So we got to make use
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Friends also is a very huge because there's a saying that say your friend's eye is the best mirror. So
Yeah.
you got to
Mm.
always let's say go to your friend, of course, to and be open. Be
Yeah.
open.
Mm.
Be
Yeah.
open.
That's a
You
good
got to
one.
be
Be
open.
open. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to be open for and get ready for the you know the honest conversations. A lot of
Yeah.
this time we find ourselves in this therapy, and for me,
Mm.
I don't know if you have done it before,
Mm.
but I haven't done
Yeah.
therapy before. So I
Mm.
haven't done the therapy before, but my friend who is a counselor for alcohol and drugs people, and he specifically told me that, and I was like, hey man, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't do this because the fact that you guys continuously scheduling appointment. I was just like, yeah, but that's how we make money. We were taught to keep scheduling an appointment, you know. Yeah, but yeah, but that's it from your end.
Yeah, I mean that's a very hard truth, like you said. You know, be open to accepting feedback. Be open to accepting the truth. Many of us, we I think we kind of hard ourselves towards that we don't want to be faced with reality. Let's say, for
Yeah,
instance, you find yourself in something, and then somebody come to you and tell you, say, "Hey, man, or hey, this thing that you're doing is not good." You feel that resentment, you know.
yeah,
You feel resented, like, oh no, why you trying to tell me? Like, you're not gonna tell me what to do. Like, I know what is good for me. Yes, Mister or Miss, you know what is good for you, but that person might be seeing it for another angle that you are not seeing it. And like you said, your friend's eye is a good mirror for you. It's the best mirror because, like we said, you might be so caught up in the mood or in the
yeah,
moment, and you are so caught up in that situation to the extent that you just don't see the negative part of it. You don't see the negativity into it. You don't see the negative implication of it. You don't feel that negative energy anymore because you soak in it now. You know what I'm saying? You stuck. And somebody else might see that and be like, hey man, from my view, from the way I see things, this is not working out for you. This is not good for you. You need to stop. You need to make a move. And many of us don't want to accept the hard truth. And that's the reason why you need to surround yourself with people, and you need to open yourself to accepting people, because these mentors are out there. People are out there that need people to talk to, that need people to have conversation with. But many of us, we feel afraid. You know, maybe sometimes we just want, we don't, and there's something we call constructive criticism, right? Many of us find that very offending.
yeah,
We find that very offending. We don't want to be given feedback. We don't want to be criticized, and we don't want to be um we don't want people to look at us different as if what we're doing is wrong. But indeed, what you're doing is wrong. It is the truth that it is
yeah,
wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it is the truth. And listen, like we said, this topic is huge, and I think it just gets more interesting down the line. But we gotta let it go. We're gonna give you guys all the juice like that, like we said. Go out there, research, learn. We are all experienced, expert in our own experiences. But again, this is the Jew and Fair Open Map podcast, and we are here every Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, live, bringing you reality conversation. And for today topic conversation we are having today is letting go of who or what is holding you back. And like we started from the beginning, there are so many things that cause people to be held back. um
yeah,
and there are so many ways you can identify these things to know who or what is holding you back. So many signs and symptoms that you can see to identify it. And now we are giving some practical tips, you know to help yourself to let go or move forward. And we say you have to acknowledge the truth. You have to permit yourself to grieve. You have to focus on what you can control. Surround yourself with support. And for last, before we wrap it up and get out of here, visualize your future without it. And
mm,
this one is just like what we said. If you remove fear out of the equation, can that thing work out for you? And we said, if yes, then let it go. Then yes. If no, then know that you're stuck in it. And this is the same as this. You have to visualize your future without this thing, without this person. How will my life be like?
yeah,
You know what I mean? If I was not in this situation, how would my life? Okay, how would I have seen things, or how would I have been? What could have been my life? What could have been the situation of my life? What could have been my career, or what could have I been doing differently? So you have to visualize your life, your future without this situation. Maybe you have this friend. Typical example: you have this friend who always, when you come to and tell them something about yourself, about your family, about your career, they always let you down. They
yeah,
don't support you. They don't back you up. They don't push you. How could you live, or how could you move on without that person being into your life? If
yeah,
that person were not in your life, what are those things? How where could you have been? without that person being into your life. This is what practically we're trying to talk about, you know. So you have to understand the situation, understand your surroundings, visualize things on a different perspective, look at things from a different angle, instead of
Yeah.
just, oh, uh, I grew up with this person is my brother, this person is my father, this person is my mom, this person is my fiance, this person is my husband, my
Yeah.
wife, and blah blah blah. I cannot do anything without this person. What if you could do something without that person?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at
Yeah.
it from a different angle. But many of us, we are only stuck on one sided. You know, we are only one side. Like look at it from one perspective or one angle. That if it doesn't happen that way, it means it cannot happen any other way, which is
Mm.
a very practical, blunt lie. And
Yeah.
this is a lie that many of us have been taught. We have known from birth. We grew up into knowing it, and we have
Yep.
known it to the extent that we know everything about it. But hey, there's another truth
Absolutely.
towards that, though. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
another truth towards that. So you have to look at it from a different angle or different perspective. Man, there's so many people. Listen, there are so many people who can give real life example of how they were in their family and they had to make a move, and today they are better people and they are even taking care of the family that they left.
Yeah.
Not many people that break away from home. Just again, spoiler alert, we are not telling about to leave your home because you know you are being HPD. Please, nobody should take our
Yeah.
word for a different content, okay? But this is just something we're trying to say. There are many people who felt that wasn't working out for them because they found themselves in certain situation, and because they made that change, today
Yeah.
that left is better than the way it used to be. You know, so
Yeah.
visualize your life, visualize your future without that thing that is holding you back, without that situation, without whatever you feel it is. And trust me, it's going to work out for you a lot of time. If it doesn't work out, find another way. Figure it out
Yeah.
until you make it,
100%.
you know. So let's hear from you, bro, while we wrap this up.
Absolutely, man. I think you touched everything. I think this is the lap what's it called? Uh, outlined here for this conversation and letting go of who or what that might have offended you, and it's difficult to let go, guys. But we are encouraging you to do that. I think having the courage to understand that it's difficult to do it, but doing it anyways is important for your
Yes.
mental state, your health, your growth, your family, your kids. But you got to let go.
Hmm.
And especially us in the Christian community, yeah. There's a scriptures in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, says, you got to forget the former things, and do not dwell onto the past. See that I'm God. I am what doing a new thing in your life. So
Yeah.
it's important for us to
Mm.
uh, find that support in order to let go, understanding that we um, most of the time you got to find some things to look forward to, right? So even that thing is not there, but still having the courage to do it anyways.
Yeah.
It is common that many times people intentionally hurt you, people intentionally say things to
Mm.
upset you, people intentionally will offend you. Um, but it's important to look forward to the new opportunity that always finding the positive in the negative is important.
Yeah.
Um, you can sit there and moan and cry for all time or complain, in other words, for a while. But if you not make move, you wouldn't um you wouldn't discover the new opportunity, you know. And I think my way of dealing with such or letting go, I have one thing that I always one scriptures that I always look up to, and that it says that God will restore you, God will put you together in front of those who break you.
Yeah.
So and it took me for a long time to actually discover that scripture. I was like, wow. And I think reading is important.
Yeah.
Um, to let go, because it's important to sometimes you might say that, hey, I was in this relationship, yeah, but this guy was the only person who was making the money, and now that if I leave the relationship, and I'm not going to because I was not being the breadwinner of the family, I'm going to get stuck. Um, but
Mm,
trust the process.
right.
Trust the process, and sometimes the breakup is always the opportunity for making something great.
Yeah, for
If
sure.
something's not working out for you, assess it, let go, move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I love that, that any statement. If it's not working out for you, assess it, you know, let it go and move on. And, like we have started from the very beginning of this show and from all of our various podcasts we have out there, guys, support are out there, seek support. Don't never feel that you are in this alone. Many things that we talk about on our show are things that when we were never taught. These are things that you hardly hear about out there. And
Yeah,
it is just a reality that we are faced with and people don't see it convenient enough to talk about it,
yeah,
especially we young people. You know, everybody just I know everybody will going about their business and doing their own thing, however they feel is important or however they want to do it, which is okay. But trust
yeah,
me, there are so many people out there that need help. There are so many people
absolutely.
out there that are facing some things that um they just don't know how to get away around it. They just don't know how to get out of it. And that is why we brought this show today. We brought this podcast to discuss these things, these controversial things, these hard to talk about things, so that we can be able to educate our young people out there, educate other people out there. So before we wrap up and before we close, I want to say please share, like, and subscribe to our channel. If you are following us, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You and Fred Open Mac Podcast. You can find us these on this platform. And if this message resonates with you, share with somebody. There's someone out there that probably want to hear this. I mean, we might not be an expert to give you guys all these big jargons and say all these soft things and make it look all crunchy and stuff. But listen, to be honest, these things are not easy to do though. They are not. So when I'm about to
Yeah,
speak in self tune and make it and play, you know, romantic music sound behind it and make you want to fall asleep, we're gonna put it in your face and tell you that hey, this is it. This is the truth. You have to either accept it or reject it. But it is a hard truth that we have to face. So
yeah,
letting go of something. There are so many things, like we said. It can be family, friends, addiction, a lot of things that are holding many of us back, and we have this fear of letting it go. But hey, it is possible. You
yeah.
can let it go. And one thing we need to understand: letting go is not. Isn't about giving up. It's about making room for
Right,
something better.
absolutely.
So don't feel that letting this go, it mean that you are giving up on it. It's just you creating a room, an opportunity, like we said, looking at the big picture, you know, understanding from a different angle that you are worth. Your life is worth. You can be better than this. You can do better than this. You can live
Yeah.
a better life than what you are living currently. And it has to do with every one of us.
Mm.
And also understand that fear and guilt are normal. It happens regardless, and we shouldn't let it to hold us down. These things,
Yeah.
they are tests. They come to test us. So once you recognize that and you have an understanding that hey, you know, if I take fear out of the equation, can can I do better without this fear? Know that
Yeah.
then you are starting to think critically, you are starting to think outside the box. And we all deserve good relationship, we deserve good opportunities and good experiences, to make our life better. So do not
Absolutely.
let anything to hold you down. All right, don't let anything to hold you down. And I mean, that would just be my own party statement. I would say, I don't know, Afra, if you want to say anything else before we kind of
Yeah.
disclose what we
I,
have from next week.
okay. Yeah. So my party statement would be definitely seek for resources. It's always in your reach. Look around you, found something to look up to. Um, you know, regardless of what, no matter whatever you are faced with right now at this moment, um, just look for something to motivate you, to encourage you. Um, read and again, we can be a good resources to, if you want us to, if you have if you have a conversation, if you have something to talk about, you can always hit us up or shoot us a text message. We will definitely honor your request to be on here, and so you can talk your piece. You know,
Yeah.
if it's us ask if you asking us for advice, or if the vice versa, we are open. And I think we are non-judgmental people, and we understand. We are very understanding. I think that's what matters.
Yeah.
That's why we are um so much necessary, is because we are understanding people. We are understanding friends.
Oh yeah, for sure. We can be of support or resource towards you. You know, just reach out, DM us, and we are always here to help you out. We are all young people too as well. So for next week, we're gonna try to get some guests on the show, and I promise you guys that we'll work our way around getting some guests on the show. If not, but definitely we will work to get some guests on the show. And for next week, we're gonna be discussing, is school a scam? You know, this topic is one of the most controversial and debating topic out there. And we want you guys to get prepared. You know, come with your question, come with your comment, and let's discuss this. Is school a scam? I mean, I have my take. Alfred have his take. I guess you two have your take on this. And let's talk about it next week. You know, next week Saturday we're gonna be here 9 a.m. Is school a scam? And we're gonna be discussing that. We're gonna try to bring you. You know, I'm gonna laughing because I just can't wait to see how heated this conversation is gonna be this coming Saturday. And
Yeah,
and again, we are here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Sunday morning, for our Bible giveaway show. We're gonna be giving out $3, that is 300 pennies. All you have to do is call, ask a question, or pick a number. We're gonna ask you a biblical question, and then once you answer it, um, you automatically win $3. Last week Sunday we had three winners. The Sunday before that, I think we had two. Last week we had three, and hopefully this coming Sunday we can have more winners. So study your Bible, read your Bible, make your research, and let's get it going. Let's win some money tomorrow. Okay, we are here tomorrow morning 9 a.m. bringing you our biblical talk show, and you know, and also just before we let it go and wrap things up and end this show, outside of the podcast, we have a nonprofit that we run, and I'm just gonna put the name on the screen. It's called the Helping Hands Network of Liberia Corporation, and this is our website, keyhanot.org. You guys can follow us to see what we do. So, out of the podcast, you know, we are also into humanitarian aid as well, giving back to our communities, most especially to our people in Africa, Liberia specifically. So, if you want to donate, you want to follow us to see whatever, you know, what all we are doing in Africa, in Liberia, and how we can make our country a better one, how we can make Africa as a whole a better one, and not just Africa alone. This organization is in the business of expanding more and being a global organization. So if you have any expertise, skills, and you know, and skill set, any ideas, you know, we are doing a recruitment process right now. So once you go to our website, you're gonna see every information you need there. Um, if you want to donate to our organization, also we will appreciate it. We are currently working on providing scholarship and some educational material for our students in Liberia. So we would really love your support. Every dollar count. Okay, it doesn't matter even if it's old dollar or new dollar. We love it. It count. We want it, and not just money. But you know, you can donate some other resources as well, appliances, clothes, school materials, anything that is usable. We would love it to you know, give it to our people back home and to our community. So please, again, this is our non-profit name, Helping Hands Network of Liberia Corporation, and this is our website. You can follow us there and donate. Join us. We are recruiting, and reach out to us if you do want to find out about whatever we do or what all we do. You know, we will be excited to share this conversation and this information with you guys. So again, until we see you tomorrow and next week, stay tuned. Thank you. We love you guys and hope to see you guys around sooner.